fantasma.
Peggio. Visto mio fratello. Andiamocene di qua, Filomena. Andiamocene di qua.
The two spinsters, I mean, what was interesting about this piece is it's reflecting love in a different way. So these women have chosen to live as spinsters, older women. There's clearly a relationship there. And the strain that is placed on family when her brother forces her to choose her lifestyle versus connecting back with her nieces and nephews. And he wants her to abandon one and choose the other. And it's interesting because they really did set up how she felt a disconnect from her family, and it was not of her choosing. And a lot of the longing to be back close to her family, even though it's been several years since, how she still remembers what they liked when they were young, even if they're at this point is referenced in almost in their 30s. And so it's clear that there's this deep regret, which all leads up to this conversation she has with her brother, where she gets to let out all this emotion. And it's very clear in this conversation how much she misses her connection with her family and how much it's pained her to not have it. I really loved how they did the drawback to the moment where they're watching TV and she reaches over. And so I kind of expected her to reach over and her hand be grabbed. And it was interesting how the ending wasn't predictable. I didn't know if she was going to stay or go. And clearly she chose her family at the end, but it didn't come across as that automatically. Like I wouldn't have assumed that based off the movie, what was presented. So I thought did a really good job with the foreshadowing in a way that it didn't give it away too much.
The Two Spinsters. This was done so good. I loved the way that they told the story and how they were giving you pieces of information throughout the way. They were leaving a lovely breadcrumb trail that kept your attention and it gave you something to follow. The acting in this was top notch. I loved the rapport between the two lead actresses. It was just so sweet and so loving, and the twist at the end was just absolutely brilliant. The music in this was chosen really, really well. I don't know if it was specifically written for this film. It seemed like it was, because it added just that right amount of emotion, and it was just really beautifully, beautifully done.
The Two Spinsters, cute title, and I really liked this short. I thought it was short and sweet and bittersweet, with the ending being sad, but very nice music throughout and the use of music. Sometimes I think people overuse music. This was done perfectly, and I thought it was kind of sort of presented as a simple story, but it's very deep, and I think one of the morals is to live life, to your own self's truth, and that true family will accept you for who you are. And it's also about just loving unconditionally. Again, simple but deep, and I liked the writing, and the cinematography and the acting was strong. So great job.
The Two Spinsters is a short film about like two old women who need to face like their own like past that came haunting them like nowadays. The sense of emotion here is well worked, because like the characters like have that conflicts from the past, and the story kind of like unfold it pretty like well in a good pacing. And when they got to face like that past, they get into the conversation. I feel like it brings us to understand the characters more, and we get to understand like why they become like that person like today. And the sense of like dramatic is pretty like well done here. Like it makes us like compelling, and it could be a good tearjerker.
This is an interesting title, and what a lovely story with so much depth in this very short time. Adorable performances, and the script is emotional with an even more heartbreaking end, and speaks so clearly of the cultural obstacles the mindset that we are brought up with to exclude and reject even your own family members, and the deep hurt that they must experience whenever this happens. And just that final shot, I enjoyed it. It's heartbreaking and so tragic, but it was very well told. I enjoyed it a lot.